Hello, welcome to our podcast. My name is Si-Wing Yi from the Yi Real Estate Network, and our guest speaker is Justin Zawatney from our Southwest Florida, Cape Coral, Florida network realtor, and we are going to go through a update on investment opportunities, turnkey investment cash flow opportunities here at the Southwest Florida, Cape Coral. Before we begin, the biggest takeaway for me is we've been working the Cape Coral market for a number of years, in fact, more than 10 years, and we have been seeing consistent appreciation in Cape Coral. Even though some of you are thinking, oh, Cape Coral's home prices are rising, but one thing we can talk about is the rising rent that we're able to collect on our recent closings. As a matter of fact, we can go through several great examples of our past investors closing in the past few months, just to highlight the successful purchase experience. So with our investors, you're gonna be very, very surprised that even, like I said, the cash flow is still very consistent with the rising rent nationwide. The rising rent is helping our investment properties here in Cape Coral, and we will, again, Justin will go through several cases, and so the future is very, very bright, and the rental market is extremely, extremely strong. We could talk about that too. We could talk about the amazing, so many renters out there, people who have high salaries. They're willing to pay the rent on some of the homes that we are selling there. So I don't want to give it away too much because Justin is on the ground. He knows exactly what's going on with his products in his neighborhood. So let's so without further ado, Justin, take away and show people why Cape Coral is amazing investment opportunity for turnkey real estate investors.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Yi. Like you said, we've been working in this market for quite a while now, and I mean, for those of you who keep up with the webinars, it's probably at least the fourth or fifth webinar we've done on this market. And really, we wanted to use this webinar as a chance to share some of the success stories, go ahead and give some examples of some of the investors who have closed on homes already in this market and how those homes are doing. Really just to give an example of everything that we've been saying for the last several webinars now. So we're not going to share any names or addresses or anything like that, but you will see some pictures and the background of these homes that are real homes, from buyers that are from the Yi Real Estate Network. So the first one, we're going to go ahead and start out in LaBelle, actually. You might remember, that was actually the first webinar I did with the Yi Real Estate Network. It was probably a couple of years ago now. We were selling these homes back then. You can see it was purchased for $165,000. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. This particular home, it doesn't have a garage, which is kind of unique to that market. It's something that we find very commonly out in LaBelle, but you don't see too much elsewhere in Southwest Florida, but it does work great out in LaBelle. It was a brand new home that was under warranty. We had a tenant placed the very first day. So from the day this owner closed on the home, they were collecting rent. There's been 0 days of vacancy since they've closed on this home, coming up on 18 months ago now, I believe. So very consistent cash flow. Another key is it's under warranty. We did have 1 or 2 small issues. It's a new home. There's usually some things to iron out. We did have some issues with the water heater, but it was under warranty. So as far as dollars out of pocket for this investor, it's still at 0. We have not had to repair or make any changes to this home since it was purchased, just maximizing the cash flow because of that. You can see it on the slide. The current value of this home is $210,000. We actually had a comp about 6 weeks ago now, exact same model from the same builder, same floor plan, built right around the same time, and it sold for $210,000. So that's that's a very accurate value proven on the market. You can see at the bottom, it was rented at $1,400 per month. And like I said, we haven't had any losses from maintenance or anything like that. There's been no vacancies. And in reality, like Mr. Yee said, rent is climbing very, very quickly. That rent, if I was to put it back onto the open market right now and try and source a new tenant, we're probably looking at $1,600, maybe even $1,650 if we want to be really aggressive. One of the things that you find is when you have a good tenant, that tenant is paying. Some years you may choose not to raise the rent on them, and this was an example of that. It made more sense to keep the tenant, continue collecting that rent, have no vacancy. Maybe in the future we'll raise the rent at that point, but at least for now we kept at that original $1,400, which is cash flowing very, very well. Wow,
good to know. Good to hear. Exciting.
So the next example we'll go over here to Cape Coral. That's a market that's growing very, very quickly. You've heard us talk about it on at least 2 or 3 webinars now. This particular home, it was a duplex, not single family. As you can see in the picture there. In the picture, you can actually see they have the hurricane shutters up still. That was something that came along with the purchase. So there's extra protection that we have ready. If there was a storm, we haven't had to use them yet, but was something that was included in the purchase. So this duplex, there's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath unit on each side. So total of 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. It's purchased for $365,000. Again, it's a brand new duplex that was under warranty. And like I said, with the last home, new homes, you often find there's 1 or 2 things that need to be just slightly corrected once the builder's done. And this was no different. It was a small problem with one of the faucets in a bathroom that they came in, repaired completely, free of charge. There was no cost to the owner. Current value of this duplex, we're looking at $430,000. And again, that's going from a comp that's just down the road. And that's within the last 10 days, that one closed. That's a very accurate value.
Justin, what was the exact date this duplex was purchased by our investor, and when did it close escrow?
I don't have the exact date in front of me. It was I believe it was the end of March. I read around March, maybe 25th, give or take. I believe the rent started April 1st for this unit. Another example where from closing, within a week, we had both sides completely rented out on an annual lease, minimal vacancy. Moving forward, I don't foresee any vacancies. We found a lot of our tenants are just choosing to renew right now.
Yeah. So $1,450 per side, $1,450 plus $1,450 is $2,900. So on a purchase of $365,000 at 25% down payment, what was the monthly net cash flow on this property?
I have to double check my spreadsheet. I believe we're right around $400 to $500 a month. Once we set aside money for maintenance, once we set aside potential losses, management fees, you name it, would be our average. In this case, we haven't had any maintenance. We haven't had any vacancy. In reality, it's probably closer to 600 is what it's actually performed at so far. Again, because in our projections, we account for some things to happen and they simply haven't happened to this point. So it's outperformed our projections so far.
Yeah, that's a very good return. We're talking like at least 6% capitalization rate. So a very, very good cash flow. Now within a mere few months, why this property increased from $365K to $430 in a matter of few months? We're talking $35K plus $30, $65,000 of equity gain today. Why sudden surge?
It's simple. It's inventory. There are 0 duplexes like this one available right now. I'm looking for new opportunities every single day. Right now, if I was to search for brand new construction duplexes in Cape Coral, there are 0 available. I believe there's 30 duplexes available in all of Cape Coral. A majority of those were built prior to 2000. So we're talking about duplexes built in the 60s, 70s, 80s, things that we really wouldn't pitch to our out of area investors. It's just not a good idea. I think there's about 3 or 4 that were built in 2016 that are available, and that's it. So when there's such small amounts of inventory available and the home is performing so well, prices go up, and that's what we've seen. Even that rent at $2,900 a month, that's low. We've seen since we leased this in March, every single month rents have been going up more and more and more. At this point, I would feel confident if we had to put one of those units back on the market, it would probably get $1,600 a month, maybe even $1,650. So I mean, we're talking about $400 to $500 extra dollars a month if both sides were raised to that level.
Wow.
So, really strong numbers for the future for this duplex.
Great news.
So, the other thing, I wanted to kind of highlight here with these success stories is why they're so successful. What are the keys to these investments that set it apart from other opportunities in Southwest Florida? Why is working with my company through the E Real Estate Network such a successful idea, something that works so well? So some of the highlights here, we almost always use new construction properties. In fact, in the last 2 years, we've only closed on one home that wasn't brand new, and it was a 2-year-old property. So even though it wasn't brand new, it was very, very close. We get that warranty that way in case anything happens the first year. We also know that all of those appliances are brand new. The AC is brand new. The hot water heater is brand new. We're offsetting that maintenance for years in most cases. We're not going to have very much to do to that home. Another key, we've touched on it a little bit, is that appreciation potential. Everything that we've shown cash flows, and it cash flows well, but the real key is that appreciation potential. You just saw 2 examples that both have increased by $35,000, $45,000, $50,000 in a very short period of time. About a year is the longest ownership of either of those. I mean, that's tremendous. And this isn't just short-term appreciation potential. The appreciation of this area is phenomenal, even going back 10 years. I have a couple of notes here. I don't have them on the screen, but if I was looking at the website Neighborhood Scout, which is a great source of a lot of statistics on the appreciation and other demographic statistics for different real estate areas. For LaBelle, the 10-year appreciation is 135%. In a 10-year period, the values of the homes have appreciated by 135%. That puts it well into the top 10% out of all of the markets in the United States. In an annual breakdown, that's just under 9% appreciation per year for a 10-year period. I mean, that's phenomenal appreciation. That is very difficult to find.
Exactly.
Cape Coral, not quite as high as LaBelle, but very, very close. We're at 122% appreciation over the last 10 years, which puts it to 8.33% annually, year over year for those 10 years. Again, that's well into the top 10% across the country. And even going back to just the last 12 months, it's done just under 10% appreciation in the last 12 months. I mean, very fast appreciation, and almost 3% appreciation in just the last 3 months alone. So, I mean, just shows that trend is just getting faster and faster. We're seeing even more appreciation, not the opposite of it slowing down. Which again, the appreciation is really what sets it apart from a lot of other markets where we're simply looking at cash flow. It really makes for a strong investment. Again, we discussed the rental rates are going up very, very fast. And another thing too, that not only are the rates going up, but the demand for rentals is going up very, very quickly as well. I actually today was speaking with another property manager in the area, and he was talking about one of his rentals they put on the market last week. So it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Cape Coral. It was 1,200 square feet. So he said, all right, it's a little bit small, it's a little bit old. We're going to go a little bit below what I think, the average rate is for the area. He put it up for rent for $1,650 a month. I mean, in my opinion, that's very low. I think it easily could have gotten 2,000. But he wanted to be fair. He wanted to get someone in there quickly. So he put it up on the market at $1,650 a month. That home had 108 applicants in the first 24 hours. He marketed it, I mean, clearly below market value, but the amount of interest in that one home, that's incredible. 108 applicants in 24 hours. They could have found someone to lease it for at that price in, I mean, about a 2-hour period probably. So it just shows the amount of demand that's out there, which is what's allowing you to be so aggressive with this pricing. If you go higher, there's still going to be someone who wants it and really maximize that cash flow for the homeowner.
Yeah, Justin, I've been sorry to interrupt you. I've been hearing there's a bidding war by renters in many parts of the country. So Cape Corals are no exception. So what I mean by bidding war, from what I hear recently, is that like I said, a per house, being marketed for renting, and then the prospective renters are bidding against themselves. Whoever are willing to pay the highest rent gets the property to be rented. So is that what I see? What's going on in Cape Coral rental market right now?
Absolutely. I mean, and that's not even just obviously very recently that's happening, right? I mean, we just heard about someone who got 108 applicants in 24 hours. Clearly, he can send out an email to all 108 and say, okay, well, what's the most everyone's willing to pay, and wait and see who's going to pay the most and really bid that rent up. But even going back to March when we leased that duplex, we had, we put it on the market. Within 3 days, we had 250 messages about it. We received 25 applications, and we went with the 2 strongest applicants. We didn't bid the price up. At the time, we set the record for rent in that market. We didn't feel the need to bid it up any higher. We just took the 2 strongest applicants out of that group. It's allowing us to be very, very selective about who is renting the home, and that's making the performance even better because there's no issues with late payments. There's very little issues, with missed payments or anything like that. Everyone's performing very, very well because they're overqualified for the home. They could really afford significantly more than what they're actually renting. That's been great for the owners of the homes. The next key I have on here, everything that we send to our investors as potential properties to purchase, they're going to have positive cash flow right away. We have some investors who are a little bit more specific about what they're looking for, maybe wanting something inside of a gated community, maybe wanting a condo, something like that. We do our best to find a investment opportunity that would fit that criteria. But if we can't find something that's going to be positive in the cash flow right away, we're never going to recommend it. And the reason why a lot of, some of those examples, like a gated community, like a condo, don't work is because there's going to be an HOA payment, and that's going to eat up a lot of the cash flow. In the last 12 months, we haven't recommended any properties like them. They're just too expensive with the HOA payment, and they don't work well. Everything we do, it's going to have positive cash flow right away. Make sure you're making money right away while you watch that appreciation go up and make you even more money. The next key, there's very, very little work required by the owner. We make it, a system where there's, once you purchase the home, almost nothing you need to do. And that really ties in with the last 2 bullet points, and the fact that there's one contact you work with, and that's myself. And then we use a management software that makes the process very, very easy and very transparent. So all 3 of those, again, they kind of tie into one thing. But you're going to work with myself to identify the property that's going to work for you. Once we have that property, selected, we're going to help you get under contract and move through the purchasing process. That does require a little bit of work. There's some contracts to sign. There's going to be a wire or 2. You're going to have to sign the closing documents. Pretty much something you're going to have to do to purchase any home. So once that work is out of the way, that's where basically most of the work stops for you. There's very little after that. We're going to get you set up with a profile on our management software. That profile is going to allow you to see the home. It's going to allow you to see when the payments come in. It's going to allow you to see if any work requests come in. It's going to let you see everything that's happening with that tenant and with that home. We're going to go ahead and market the home for rent. We're going to place the tenant. The only thing you're going to need to do is sign the lease, right? The lease is going to have your name on it. The tenant's going to see your lease, and that's it. The tenant's never going to have your phone number. They're not going to know anything about you besides your name. And we like to keep it that way. That avoids any phone calls to our homeowners, keeps all the phone calls coming to me. And again, make sure that I'm the only contact that our homeowners are ever going to have to work with. Any work requests that come in, again, that falls on my shoulders. We go ahead, if it's something that we can repair, we're going to go ahead and repair it ourselves. It's going to require a contractor like a plumber or an AC professional. We're going to go ahead and bid it out to a minimum of 3 companies. We're going to bring those 3 bids to our homeowner, ask them which one they would like to select. The homeowner is going to have to sign the contract to do the work, and that's it from there. At that point, we handle all the coordination of times. We make sure that the work is done correctly. And at that point, the only thing left is for the homeowners to submit the payment to the company that did the work. Again, everything we do makes it that I am the only person you're working with. It also makes it just very transparent. You always know what's happening, but you're not the one doing really anything once you own that home. And then going as far as someday when it's time to sell the home, to cash in on all that great appreciation, that's where that one contact continues to move forward. We are a full service brokerage and we help the owners sell the homes. So it does make it a very, very easy process for the homeowners. I think we've had a lot of great feedback from all of the real estate network investors on that so far.
Yes, outstanding. Great system, Justin. That's exactly what we wanted from our investors. Great job so far. Yeah.
So, Mr. G, I mean, you have any other questions about the market or anything else you'd like us to highlight here?
Yeah. Good question. Yes, I'm frustrated that we have more of our investors. We have several more investors that want to that are currently working with you. I know they are under contract a few months down the road, and they're very excited to ultimately close escrow. But I mean, we need more inventory. So what you gonna do about it? How are you gonna find the inventory for our buyers? I mean, we are frustrated.
It is difficult, and really, the best thing to do is to be patient. We do work to get inventory as quickly as possible. We do actually get really the first choice at it compared to a lot of the other networks down here in Southwest Florida. But it's hard. The builders can only build so many homes, and that's where the patience comes into play. The process that our current preferred builder is using, we get first access to the homes when it's just a lot, and in some cases it's when they're still working to close on the lot as the builder. They don't even fully own it yet. They make it available, to the network of investors that we work with. It allows us to reserve the lot at that point where we're going to have the first chance to sign the contract when it does become available. The downside with it is that, once we reserve that lot, it could be 6 months before that contract is available, right? I mean, if we're reserving a lot right when they put it under contract to purchase it, they need to go through the full process of purchasing the lot. Then they need to go ahead and go through all of the permitting and planning. They then need to start construction on the home. They have to get all the way to the point where they've poured the foundation, they've built the exterior walls, they've put the roof on, and then they frame out the rooms inside the home. And then at that point, they make the contract available to us. I mean, it could be 6 to 9 months if we reserve a lot that's very, very early in the process before that contract is available. Again, that's when we sign the contracts, we lock in the price, the escrow deposit is made, and then we wait. It's about 5 months until the closing. It is a long process, and we do our best to shorten it. By when we select the lot, we try and select a lot that's 4 to 8 weeks away from a contract. a lot sooner than something that's very early in the process. But if that lot and that location is perfect and fits exactly what the investor is looking for, again, it might be worth being a little patient, because in the end, this is what's allowing us to get the best price on these new construction properties. And by the time the investor closes on them, they're often, well into the green and the appreciation. They could sell the house day one and make money. We've seen several examples of that. So the patience is often rewarded.
Okay, Justin, I think a lot of you and I know that there has been in the past 9 months or so, there has been lumber shortages, and a lot of builders are raising their prices, and a lot of builders are not even, they are pausing construction because the lumber prices are so hard. Not only lumber prices, but the everything that are associated with building a house. Like we're talking, everything has increasing price recently. I mean, there's a shortage, there's a supply chain shortage. So the builders are really going through a lot of challenges. So even when our investors are reserve a lot and they pay the deposit, whatever, $5,000 deposit, right? Something like that. Then, what's the concern is, what if, are there any kind of escalation clause that will prevent the builder from raising the prices, even though the original lot contract the investor signed with a set purchase price, and in doing so, they're during the next 6 to 9 months before the house is completed. So what are the challenges and concerns that investor may see?
Yes, that is a challenge we've had in the past. There are some small builders that have had a lot of trouble keeping up with these supply chain issues, causing things like increasing prices on buyers, or even pausing construction. The builder that we use in LaBelle as well as Cape Coral is a branch of a national builder. As being a part of that national builders network, their supply chain is so large, and they have to source so many products to build these homes in such a large number of them, that they've had less issues. There's been no talks of stopping construction. They don't have any problems with that. The prices have increased. However, they don't increase once you sign the contract. This builder does not include any type of clauses that would allow them to do that. So once you sign that contract and lock in the price, it's set. And that's really the main reason why they're waiting all the way through the point where they frame the house, because at that point, a majority of the goods and products that you need to build it have already been ordered and their prices are locked in. It's the most fair system, both for the builder as well as the buyer. Helps get the best price for the buyer and helps protect the builder from having to do things like raise the price once the contract is already signed, which nobody wants to see. It's just not a good situation. So we again, with this builder haven't had any problems with that, and don't foresee any types of issues with that. And that's what's allowing our investors to, start gaining that equity from the appreciation from the time they sign the contract, not the time they close on the house, which has been really, really great. But again, while you wait 5 months, you're already making money while there's only a $1,000 deposit placed, which is really, really a great setup for the investor.
It is. Okay, so of course we have a number of investors already under contract. They're waiting for the house to be completed, and they're very excited. So hopefully before the year's over, the house is completed. So if for the brand new investors that I pre-screen, that will come to you when you start communicating with them. So what's the next step? I mean, what are the next 30 to 60 days, for example? Do you have any kind of clarity around what type of lots going to be available? Is a single family home? Is it duplex? So what are the inventory lot reservation opportunities right now?
Yeah, like Mr. Yee said, if you're someone who's interested in purchasing one of these homes and owning a home here in Southwest Florida, the best way to start is contact Mr. Yee. He's going to go through all the pre-screening with you, make sure it's a great investment to add to your portfolio, and then he's going to get you in contact with me from there. Once you're in contact with me, we'll go through an introductory phone call where we answer any questions you might have about the area, go through our process much more detailed. And then we'll start talking about the inventory that's available. Right now, looking at the inventory sheet from the builder, I just received an updated one yesterday, actually. They have a number of lots available for their single family, 4-bedroom, 2-bath home in Cape Coral, which is the home that we recommend. They also have a lot of inventory in LaBelle as well, which are homes that are ready to be purchased probably in the next 3 to 4 months. Their contracts are available right away. So there is inventory available. If it's not available right now for a contract, it'll be available shortly. We'll go through all of the lots with you, recommend a couple based on our knowledge of the areas, and again, get you to the point where you can sign that contract, get the escrow deposit submitted, and start working towards closing and owning that home. We try and make it as simple as possible. And again, keeping that, one contact you work with helps quite a bit with that.
Absolutely, Justin, you have a great system. So my takeaway, all right, I know the prices has been increasing, but as well as the rent, but let me just verbally just go through a cash flow analysis for the upcoming purchases. Single family home, LaBelle, as we discussed right now, similar model plan, potentially like did you say 225K right now?
The purchase price on those,
215, 220.
We're going through a different builder now, so we're looking closer to 235 on the homes. They're a little bit different. We're looking at either 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 2-car garage, or a 4-bedroom, 2-bath with a 2-car garage. So a little bit different than the one you saw in that picture.
All right.
Again, it's a little bit higher purchase price, but the rent is a little bit higher as well. But that builder, again, has been the easiest to work with through these supply chain issues, again, because it is a branch of a national builder. Helps keep those prices much more competitive.
What about the duplex? What is the projected price of an upcoming duplex that you may have available moving forward?
Yeah, the duplex is the hardest one to project. That's one that the builder, our preferred builder, they don't build those. We're really stuck waiting to see what the local builders put on the market. Really, the local and regional builders are the only ones doing duplexes here in Cape Coral. So really, those investors, unfortunately, need to be probably the most patient, but also the most ready to act. The way a purchase would work for a duplex, once we have everything squared away, as far as any questions about the area, going through the different cash flow projections, as well as the purchasing process. I look every day to see what's available, and when that property comes available that fits our criteria, we're going to send it over to the investor. Tell them, hey, this is the one. We need to get our offer in and get this home under contract. Move forward from there. Right now, I project a purchase price probably somewhere in the $440,000, maybe even $450,000 range, depending on the exact area that duplex is located. Which it sounds high, and it is. So one of the most expensive investments we present to any of our investors. But again, these rents are going up so quickly. It's going to be in the positive cash flow by several $100s a month.
Yeah.
Again, I'd currently project it probably about $3,300 a month in rent when both sides are occupied. So again, positive cash flow. It is a high purchase price, but with the appreciation these homes have seen, and with that positive cash flow, it's still a very strong investment.
Yeah, and finally, the last product that I hear you discussing during this presentation is the single family home new built in Cape Coral. You have 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and 4-bedroom, 2-bath. So what is the projected price moving forward for this product?
Yeah, so this one is actually the one we've had the most number of investors purchasing recently or going under contract on. I personally think this is a great product. We do have 3-bedroom, 2-bath and 4-bedroom, 2-bath homes available. We recommend a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. it's a much better product. The difference in purchase price between the two is only about $15,000. The difference in rent is about $250 per month. So by spending $15,000 extra, you're getting $250 a month extra. That $250 a month is far more than what the $15,000 is going to cost you, over the course of the mortgage. So you cash flow much better on the 4-bedroom, 2-bath home.
Right.
In addition, it's a higher valued product when it comes time to sell it down the road because it does have the extra bedroom. Those homes, we're projecting them right now to have a purchase price somewhere between $325,000 and $330,000, depending on the exact lot that's selected. They're great properties. Again, we've seen very, very fast appreciation from these homes. They rent very, very quickly, and the rent on these is moving up. I mean, almost by the week. I've seen comps as high as 2,400 recently on the rental market for that exact model that this builder built,
Wow.
which is phenomenal. I mean, really, really strong cash flow numbers from that.
Well, Justin, since I'm a numbers guy, let me give you my verbal numerical projection on a cash flow situation. Okay, so let me run it by you. I could be off by a little bit, but it's just a nice big picture, so my investors understand what they're getting themselves into. So LaBelle, which is 40 miles inland, the path of growth. The new builds are, let's say, $235K. And the rent I have to project maybe to be conservatively like $1,650. Okay, let's use this round number. $1,650 monthly gross rent on a $235K purchase in LaBelle single family home. At 20% down, one would probably get around $250, maybe $300 monthly net cash flow. Don't interrupt me. Let me finish with my other two products. The duplex, the upcoming duplex, if it is selling for $450, and if you're able to get it to rent for like $3,200, like $1,600 per door at $3,200, now to me that number works. At 25% down payment, because a duplex or higher, the lending guideline require a minimum down payment 25%. So giving that numbers projection, the monthly cash flow for a duplex is around $400, maybe even $500, give or take, monthly net cash flow. And finally, the most desirable product is your single family home, three bedroom, 2-bath, or 4-bedroom, 2-bath. If it is if the price is $325K to $330K, the monthly rent, let's say $2,000, maybe $2,100 to be conservatively. I know you mentioned $2,400. I would not be surprised if the rent will go between $2,200 to $2,300. So let's use $2,200 to be on a cautious side, right? Then an investor will put 20% down payment on this single family home product, or even 25% down payment. When I run the numbers with the taxes, insurance, and property management fee, and monthly mortgage, and by the way, the monthly mortgage is only typically like 3.5% interest rate, which is amazing, which is historical loan program, as you know. On the monthly cash flow, I would say on this single family product, I would have to say around $350, maybe even $400 monthly net cash flow on this particular product. So am I in the ballpark on these three products that you're promoting?
Yeah, I'd say you're right in the ballpark. I mean, really, the numbers you're sharing with the cash flow early on in the ownership, I'd say they're spot on. That's exactly what you're going to be making. The one thing you'll see when we work with the buyers, once they've been sent to us and we start sharing the cash flow projections, we do present our cash flow projections as an average month for a 10-year ownership. So what I mean by that is we calculate in how much would be lost in rent if there was 5% vacancy. We also calculate in how much would be lost if we had to spend 5% of the money that's collected to maintain the home. We also calculate in any future leasing fees or management fees, things of that nature. And that's going to take the cash flow projection down some, because there are times where you're going to have to spend some money. However, like I said, when you first buy this home and it's a brand new product, those first, at least 3 years, I'd say, when there's really very, very little you need to do, I think those cash flow numbers are spot on. And again, if there ever was anything to happen down the road, it might hurt it some slightly for a month or two. That's why you see our projections a little bit lower when you do look at that 10-year average.
Yep, I totally agree. Okay, now before I let you go, the final few minutes of this webinar is great content, great value proposition. Here's my takeaway from this presentation. Southwest Florida, Cape Coral is growing very fast. There are tremendous amount of job growth, tremendous amount of population growth. People are migrating into this area because of affordability factor, nice quality of life, and good business climate, and so people are migrating from the Northeast, coming down to Florida to live, to rent, to enjoy the rest of their lives. People from even from California are coming over to live in the Cape Coral area. Of course, our investors like Cape Coral, anyways. So and the inventory is very, very low, maybe less than 1 month of inventory, and a 6-month inventory is a balanced market. I don't know. I have not seen the recent data on Cape Coral, but I have to believe the supply is less than 1 month of inventory, so that makes it very.
About 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness, 3 weeks. We're talking, it'll take, in my estimation, because builders are not building fast enough, and then sellers are not selling. The rising of population growth is not. The supply of homes are not keeping up. So it'll take, in my estimation, it'll take several years for the supply of homes to reach 6-month supply level to create a balanced market. Meanwhile, I don't have a crystal ball, you don't have a crystal ball, but this is the demand from investors, demand from buyers, bidding war by renters, so many people moving in, not enough inventory. It'll take a while for the inventory to keep up. So therefore, this window of opportunity, I mean, it's going to be a long-term investment anyway, right? Investors going to buy in your market. They need to invest for the long-term, 10, 15, 20 years, right? And let the tenant pay off the mortgage. Wow, what a scam. But even short-term, for the next few years, we have to see appreciation. I mean, these are fundamentals. Demand exceeds supply, and that's what you get. You get some equity growth. You get, wow. And I'm talking too much. I'm getting too excited. But what is your final recap? Just provide us with a 30-second recap, and I'll let you go.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, when I log on to the MLS here in Southwest Florida, right now there's somewhere between 3,000 and 3,200 homes available based on which day I log in. We see somewhere between 100 to 200 homes closed every single day. So, I mean, we're talking about 2.5, 3 weeks worth of inventory across the entire Southwest Florida market. It's incredibly low inventory. And the rental opportunities, as far as homes that go on the rental market, it's a lot of the same. And that's what's causing these increases. And it's been very good for all of the investors in the area. Like we said, it's a really strong market right now. We have some great opportunities available, even through all of the craziness that we've seen in the last 12 to 18 months. If you've heard anything on this webinar that even piques your interest a little bit, make sure to get in touch with Mr. Yee. Go through that pre-screening. He's going to get you in touch with me, and we can answer any questions and really walk through this process with you and help you find that opportunity that's going to help make you quite a bit of money over many, many years of ownership. Yeah.
Oh, Justin, absolutely. Listen, guys. Look, I'm talking to my investors right now. Okay. I mean, just so you know. I mean, Justin Zawani. I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, you're very young. You're younger than most of my investors, but in fact, that's a benefit because I have to assume you're going to be in a Cape Coral Southwest market for the long term. So you're going to be serving our investors not only for the rest of their lives, maybe for their children the legacy transfer for children and grandchildren. I mean, just so you have a lot of years to go. I mean, you've been doing a good job. You provide great service. You provide great communication. You're very proactive. You follow through very well. So, I have worked with many turnkey providers over my years of doing this, right, for my out-of-state investors. But you are among the tops because I monitor what you do, and I couldn't be happier. You are one of my top turnkey provider, and we, as you know, we have other markets we also promote, but but when our investors come to buy in Cape Coral, they know that you will provide good service, and you will take care of them for the long term. So with that said, I don't need you to say anything more. We're all in. You and I have a great partnership going. Don't just keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Work hard and get the inventory. Give us some more inventory so we can, make everybody win-win situation. Does that make sense, Justin?
Absolutely. Always working on it.
All right. So with that in mind, thank you so much for this update presentation. Thank you, Justin Zatwani. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.